All right, so here we are inside of a 2-minute drill. So the problem here is that our backboard has seen better days. So we are going to have to remove this backboard and replace the foam and possibly even replace the plastic. Let's put a new one on here. This one's starting to tear apart. So you can see it's starting to rip apart up the top right here. And the foam is all gone, as you notice. I can stick my fingers pretty much behind these bad boys. You can see them. The foam has completely just deteriorated out of this plastic here. So I have new foam and I have a new plastic. We're going to have to remove this whole entire thing. It is kind of spring loaded. So on the back side there are 2 bolts, one on this side, one on this side. I've never done this, so I'm only guessing, and after I start taking it apart I'll be able to actually tell you exactly what I think. But I think those 2 bolts at the top are going to come off, and then somehow it's just going to lift up and come out. I think the bottom is sort of like stationary, like kind of like in something hooked, and then the balls kind of bounce back, giving you that little that bounciness. I might have to replace some of those springs to make it a little bit better, but yeah, no, we're gonna have to remove this and replace that foam. So let's start removing some parts, see what we can do. All right, so here we are on the back of 2-minute drill. As you can see, my little cable wires, cable hiders are still looking good. No damage whatsoever, so I'm gonna take that as a 100% full success. Anyway, so we're gonna remove this board here. So it looks like we have 2 bolts, 1 bolt there, 1 bolt there. I'm not sure what's on that side over there. I don't see any bolts on this side, so I'm hoping maybe there's some type of maybe ledge or hanger or something like that that it just sits on. So let's go ahead and remove these 2 bolts and see what we can do about taking that board off. All right, so I got this dang thing out of here, and I just got big holes. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, there was just these 2 spring-loaded bolts. This one over here has got some bad springs that I'll have to fix and stuff like that. But yeah, so it's just got 2 springs on there. It just kind of holds the backboard, and the bottom just sort of sits on a ledge. So let me get down here. Sits on this ledge right here. You can see all the old foam just totally fell apart. Anyway, so it just sits on this ledge on the inside like that, and then at the top it just bolts in and it just sort of pivots, and that's how you get that weird bounce. So let's clean this up, remove all that, remove the plastic of this stuff right here, get the new one out, and get this back looking good. So let's get out of this thing. Yeah, I was I don't know, I think it was a sort of a pain in the butt to get this out of here, and I had to move this all out of my way. And I've rarely done this one, so I wasn't sure if I should remove this. I don't know, but I got it out. A little bit of cursing and a little bit of muscle. You'll get it out. All right, so let's fix it now. All right, so we have our materials. We got our new sponge. It's got adhesive on the back, so that way you just peel it off and stick it right to the board. That way you don't have to spray glue anything. Here's our new vinyl. We will have to cut the holes out. You can already see that they already have it lined out already. You just gotta cut those holes out, and then that's it. And then we also need to remove these out. It's just a couple Allen keys, and that should be good to go. So let's get going. Let's go ahead and remove this stuff. Oh, this is also kind of stapled on the back. Yes, I did go ahead and get a stapler so we can get this done. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be good. Let's take it apart. All right, so we got those circles out of here. Yeah, I'm still using my Leatherman, although I did have to go get one tool that's not a Leatherman, just so I can get these out. Anyway, so yeah, there is a bolt or nut on the back side. And be careful taking these out, because once you start taking it off and you remove this one T-nut right here from all of it, they all start to kind of come apart like this. So unless they have updated these and made them all solid, I still think they're going to come apart. So just be careful. I mean, taking them off, you know. And they're very easy to put back together. You're just making a circle and putting the bolts through the holes. Nothing nothing major. They are very dirty, so we are gonna probably take them apart anyways and clean them a little bit so they don't look disgusting, because they look disgusting. I'm gonna go ahead and take this outside and finish removing everything, because I don't want all the old foam to get all over the place. I don't want to have to clean up the carpet around here as well. So let's take this outside. We're gonna go ahead and remove this plastic. It's just staples on the back side. We can just use our leather man to remove the staples. So let's take it outside and finish that up. All right, got the old stuff removed. Here it is. It's all gross. Got the wood all nice and clean. I pulled the membrane off as much as I could. I still need to pull off a lot of staples on the back, but I'm gonna do that inside, so that way I can just kind of relax and just pull the staples out. All right, let's get it inside. All right, so I'm installing the foam onto the board. So the way I did is I lined everything up, I lined the holes up, and then I sort of just kind of put my knee on there and I folded this back and peeled off half the top over here. So that way this part now is stuck to it. And this side over here, I can still lift up. So now that I've done that, I can just easily start peeling this out, and then just stick everything down. You know, super simple. So just get one little corner side stuck down, and then you should be able to peel the rest of it off, and then glue everything down. And so let's go ahead and just finish this up real quick. All right, so we got this cut out. Just use a pair of scissors, razor blade, whatever it is you want to use to cut the hole out. Just follow the line. I know it has these weird little triangular parts there, but the old one didn't have those triangular parts cut out, so I'm not going to cut those parts out. I'm just going to leave them just like that. That way when the inserts get put in, it just goes right in and stuff like that. So you see all the parts, they're just cut off. Got the foam ready, so got my stapler ready. We're going to staple everything back together. We're not going to glue this down. This is not being glued down. It's just going to be stapled back on. So I'm going to put a couple staples up, and then I'll show you exactly how I did it and what I do. So let's get it on. All right, so I did a little change of plans. I think I'm going to put the rings on first before I actually staple everything down. As I was dragging everything over to my staple gun section, I was like, I might have a hard time lining the holes up, so maybe I should put them in. So as I started doing that, I was starting to have trouble, and I was like, man, what's going on? Why won't these things fit correctly? Well, I found out why they really want you to cut these bad boys out. That's because it's the new way they have it, I guess. The original ones, I guess, were factory, and they weren't like that. I guess the new way, they want us to cut the notches out. That way this part would actually lay on the plastic, and then when the top ring goes on there, it sandwiches everything down and keeps it nice and tight, so that way it doesn't stretch out or rip apart. So pretty good idea, I guess. You know, so I went ahead and cut these little divots out, so that way I can start putting everything in. So I'm going to put the rings in first, and then I'm going to take it over to get stapled and be done with it and go ahead and install it. So let's go ahead and put these rings back on. All right, so I got the first part stapled on a little bit, so I just stapled the top a little bit, and I stapled the bottom a little bit. I cut a little bit of excess off the sides. I'm probably gonna have to cut a little bit more, but I just wanted to deal with not so much material. It would have been, this much extra material to deal with, and I didn't want to really deal with that, so I just cut it down a little bit so I can start doing it. So I'm just gonna lay it on its side and then start stapling the insides. I'm not doing the corners yet. I'm gonna wait till I get everything on the side done first. Whether it's right or wrong, I have no idea. But as soon as I'm done with my sides, then I'm gonna do my corners. I'll probably just kind of fold them in somehow and get them in there nice and tight. So let's go ahead and finish stapling all the way around. All right, so we got everything. Hold on, let me turn this off real quick. Oh, God. Oh, stop it. All right, so we got everything stapled in. Everything's good. I think it looks great. A whole lot better than what I did before. I just got to tighten down the rings a little bit, wipe them down a little bit because I forgot to kind of wipe them down. Other than that, they look good. Everything is nice and tight the way it's supposed to be. It's not super tight. I've been trying to get them down, so tight where the foam is starting to crush. I just need to cover it, make it nice and soft, and it's there. So now I'm just gonna tighten the rings and put it back in the game. You see that you notice that you covered your holes here, so you might want to try to uncover them, cut them out a little bit, so you can get your bolts back in there. Simple, just use your knife, cut the hole out, and be done with it. All right, so let's cut those out real quick and slap it back into the game. All right, so we got this done. It took some time, but we got it done. It looks pretty good. I fold the corners as best as possible. It is kind of thick material, so you just got to do the best you can and fold everything. I really wouldn't suggest using a hand stapler or like one of those, like, you know, grapple hand-powered staplers. I would use an air-powered one in order to get these staples in there real good. When it gets to here, when you fold it over, it gets pretty thick, and you want to be able to get through all those layers of vinyl to get into the wood. So definitely go around and staple everything, and staple the corners real well. And clean it up as best as possible, and now it's time to put it back into the game. So let's fight and struggle with the game and put it back in. All right, I kind of forgot before I put this board back in there. I kind of want to fix these. This one's okay. This one looks real good. Goes in and out, no problem. But this one right here is all floppy. The spring has broken in a couple places, so I have to try and find something to replace that spring with, so that way it looks like that one and not so bent up like that. That's probably why I kept hearing such a lot of rattle. I was like, man, it rattles so much. So let's find a spring and fix that real quick. All right, so I changed the spring. Put a new one on there, so it'll push in and out. All right, so the issue that I had with putting these springs on is that I did not have the kind of springs that they were using. So I had to go find one. These springs right here was actually one really long one. I just cut it down to size. It's actually a whole lot stiffer than the original spring. So what I did to compensate is I made it a little bit smaller. It is right to the edge, but compared to this one, it's a lot longer. This is actually almost the full length of the nut of the bolt versus what I have there. This is a lot softer, so it has a lot more of a bounce to it. These I made a little bit smaller, so that way it would still maybe give it that same bounce. I don't know. I had to do what I had to do. This is all I had, so it was either that or put it back together with the broken spring, and I'd rather not put it back together with a broken spring. So I did what I did, and there we go. Now we have two good springs. It will do its job. Besides, the only thing that's supposed to be happening is the football's supposed to be slamming against this, and it's just supposed to just take some of the recoil of the balls bouncing on this thing. So it'll work. It'll be fine. It's not like we're throwing bowling balls. We're throwing footballs. So let's get this back in there now, because these are done. So let's put it in. All right, so getting the bolts to line up, that was a task. I did stick my arm through the hole here and sort of lined it up as best as possible, removed my arm somehow without losing the hole, and I got it, to start threading in. I just got it a couple teeth to hold in, and then I came over to this side and started screwing it down. You got to do a little bit on this side, a little bit of this side, a little bit of this side until it screws a little way down. You want to get that bad boy nice and tight, so that way that little weird crown will dig into the wood. That way it keeps everything nice and tight. So they bounce real nice and well. Yeah, I think we're done here. I think this is good. So let's do a little cleanup. Oh, we need to put the sides back on, and then clean up a little bit, and then let her go. So let's finish up. All right, everything's put back together. I think it looks great. Let's turn on the arcade and take a look at it with it all complete. Now, there's still a lot of work to do in this, but the job that I was supposed to do today was make that backboard look a whole lot better, and it looks 1,000 times better. So let's turn on the games. All right, so the game is completely done. Everything is good. Everything is installed. Everything is nice and tight. Backboard is good. It's got some good spring to it. It's got nice and tight. Everything looks great. It doesn't look all scratched up, ripped up. There's no more foam falling out of it. This foam should last quite some time, and then replace it when it goes bad. But yeah, this game has it was a pain in my butt. Removing this was not the easiest thing, probably because I've never really done it before, Could I have taken out a few more parts? Probably, but whatever. I got the thing out and I got it done. Looks good, and hey, hope this helps you, and thanks for watching. And yeah, all I did was use my Leatherman to get this done. It really didn't do much. Leatherman and a freaking socket just for the bolt, screwdriver for the staples just to kind of get them out. But yeah, that's all the tools I used. Hope this helps, and thanks for watching.